Hi everyone, so I wanted to make a short video for you guys to let you guys know what I used in the hospital that I absolutely needed for comfort, and just a couple other tiny little things that kind of are like a no-duh kind of thing. I didn't post my hospital bag video. I did make it, but I didn't post it. But I'm not going to go over everything that I used in my hospital bag because duh, we all pretty much use the same things. We all find out that we don't use the same things and things like that. So I'm going to tell you just the things that, see, she's waking up, the things that I absolutely just felt comforted me in that time of delivery and postpartum in the hospital. So and then a couple other little things. So I'm going to start with the random little things. The first thing is my camera. I have this camera, the Canon Rebel T5, and I had everything, but then I lost my battery charger and I didn't have an SD card. So if you have a camera, make sure that you have the battery charger, and that the battery is fully charged, and that there's an SD card and the SD card is in here. Take a couple pictures before you go so that way you know everything is saving to it. And then school somebody on it just a little bit. If it's your husband, they're probably not going to want to know everything about it, but just tell them which setting you want it on, or put it on the setting and let them know this is the setting I want. So just keep it on that setting, and this is how you use it. Turn it on and take a picture. And then just make sure that's done between like 35 and 36 weeks pregnant. I was glad that I finally got my S together and bought the battery charger and the SD card, made sure I charged the battery, and then put the SD card in there before 37 weeks or it was like at 37 weeks because I ended up being induced at 38 weeks. So thank goodness that I got all of this stuff in time because I almost didn't. Second really random thing is the Shakeology Cup. I brought it because I had brought some some Hydrate with me to the hospital and some Shakeology to the hospital with me. I ended up not drinking my why do I keep saying Energize? That's what I usually put in this. My Shakeology, because I was hungry after birth. I thought that I wouldn't want to eat, but I really did want to eat. So I thought having Shakeology as an option, as at least I have a liquid form of nutrition. I did have my Hydrate though, but I just put it in my hospital cup that they gave me. But Alex used this a lot because he would go buy drinks at the cafeteria, like a can or a bottle of juice or something, and it would not be cold by the time he drank it. So he would put some ice in here and then stick the drink down in here, like he wouldn't use the lid, and he would let it sit for a couple minutes and then his drink would be cold again. He did that the whole time we were in the hospital from Sunday to Wednesday when we were discharged. So that was really helpful for him. I didn't get any use out of it, but he loved it. The other thing is my pump. Glad I brought it. Obviously they have pumps at the hospital for you. Their medical grade pumps are really amazing pumps, so I'm not scoffing at them. They're actually extremely high quality pumps, and if you get to use one or that's what you end up using, consider yourself blessed because they are really, really good stimulators for your milk. These are lower grade than the hospital grade, which I thought it was the opposite. I thought hospital grade's like just the crappy version, but they are far better than like a regular at-home pump. But I knew how to use this pump, and I didn't have to wait for anybody to bring me a pump, because if you want a pump in your room, you got to get hold of the lactation consultant, which means you have to get the tech in there to get you the the setup to bring the lactation consultant in. She comes in, she helps you, she brings in the pump, then you have to learn about the pump. It's just a lot, and I just am more of like a loner person. So I have my pump, I know how to use it, I know when I need to use it, and we were having a little bit of latching issue on my right side, so I'm glad I had it, because I wasn't planning to use it, but because we were having issues together learning on my right side, I'm glad I had my pump so I could stimulate my breast still. It didn't produce any milk into the bottle because your milk doesn't come in for a couple days, and that's why a lot of people, I think, shy away from bringing their pump, because they know that their milk's not coming in. But to get your milk to come in, you need to make sure your breasts are stimulated. And because we couldn't get the latch very well on the right side, it wasn't being stimulated very well. So hence bringing in the pump that I knew how to use, that were all my parts, and it was just awesome to have. I didn't have to ask for it and wait and all that stuff. And actually, by the time the lactation consultant came in, helped me, then brought in the pump, I had already pumped with my pump already twice or so. So, whatever. So pretty much the rest is all my comfort stuff. It is literally all oils. So if you don't like oils or anything like that, you can just skip out on this. If you want to know more, then you can stick around, or if you know about oils, stick around, school me a little bit, or let me know that you also use them. I'll say as a disclaimer, I am not a rep in any kind of way. I am not sharing this to post any link to get you to buy anything or anything like that. I am not a rep. But I am a lover of oils, and actually just recently, I just started using oils about 2 years ago when I had my augmentation. I was very nauseous during that, and oils really helped me get through that. And then my daughter got the flu last year, and she had it for like 2 weeks. We could not get rid of her fever. Nothing that her doctors or anybody said worked. No medication that they gave her worked, and I used oils, and her flu was gone in a day. So I have slowly started to just learn more about oils and stock up and have oils, ready for when I need them. And now I'm a pretty normal oil user. So that's where I'm coming from with this. So again, not a rep, but an avid, somewhat user learning. Yeah. So during pregnancy, I use this Gentle Babies book. You can find it on Amazon, and it really helps you learn about things that you are allowed to use during pregnancy. If you don't know much about oils, or even if you do, but you need guidance on pregnancy, then definitely pick this book up, because you're going to need to know which oils you can and cannot use during pregnancy, because there are definitely oils you cannot use during pregnancy. But most recently, Betsy Bossum came out with a book, and I got it for my baby shower, and I love this book. It covers this covers a lot too, but I just like the way this one is set up. But together, it's like having both of them is like your oil guide for pregnancy and postpartum. So I really did a lot of reading these two books during pregnancy, and I marked in there over and over again all the recipes I was going to make. And so this book ended up being kind of my go-to for the things I was going to actually put together and bring for delivery. So I'll go over that in a second. But my favorite oil, if there's anything that I had to have for comfort, it was peppermint. Peppermint is an amazing oil if you are prone to being nauseous. The doctors and the nurses raved about their medicine and how they're going to put it right through my IV, and they did twice, and it didn't work at all. If it did work, it didn't work enough because I was still very nauseous. Peppermint is my go-to oil for nausea. So what I have my husband do is get a cloth, soaking wet, cold water, wring it out, of course, but thing is completely wet. And he just brought it to me. I folded it over in half once. I put 4 drops across it, so it's like a hot dog, put 4 drops across it, and then I folded it again. So if you're not used to oils, this is called a hot oil. It will burn your skin if you get it directly on your skin. So I would not do this and like put a drop on my skin, it would burn. Same thing if you put it on a washcloth and you put that washcloth directly on your face, it will burn. So I would put the oils on there and then fold it again. So you just get the smell. And so every time I'd have a contraction and I felt the nausea come on, I would just put it up to my face and breathe through the contraction and breathe in all that peppermint, and it helped so much. So this is not an expensive oil, so it is totally worth it to have it, especially if you want just a natural way to relieve nausea medicine, or the nausea medicine is not going to work anyways that they're boasting about through your IV, because that didn't work. So this really helped, especially during pushing. I literally was just holding it to my face the whole time I was pushing, because a lot of women throw up when they're in active labor. I did try and throw up once, and it was the one contraction I didn't grab my peppermint. The one contraction I didn't grab my peppermint, I needed my little bag thing. And then I learned my lesson on that one to always have it near my face. So I can't say enough about this peppermint. Really, really. If there's anything, get that. The second thing is I brought my diffuser, and everybody in my family like laughed at me about it because they're like, why do you need a diffuser? Like, you're just having a baby. This was life-saving, and it was the talk of the room. Every single nurse, every single doctor that came into my room was like, oh my God, it smells so good in here. And it was my diffuser, and everybody asked questions about it, and I was happy to tell them about it. So I had this little carrying case. Love the carrying case too. If you are gonna bring a diffuser, having a carrying case is life-saving too, because it didn't break. This is one of the biggest ones that they have, the diffuser that I buy. I buy all my things through Young Living. It's just the company that I prefer. It's not the only company, but it's the one that I prefer and the one that I trust. I would never buy an oil like from a store. I'll buy a diffuser from a store. I won't buy an oil from a store. But this is one of the bigger ones that they have, and it lights up in all these different colors, or it can have no light on it at all. But that was super helpful during delivery. And the two oils that I chose as my little recipe for diffusing is lavender and gentle baby. So these were perfect together. I put 4 drops of lavender and 2 drops of gentle baby, and it made the perfect smell that every nurse and doctor loved. So that was really nice to have. Make sure that you don't forget the charger, because you didn't see my charger in here, but my husband already took it out of there. All right, so the last couple things, let me show you a couple more oils that I would suggest maybe having, but I didn't end up using. Stress Away is a really good one that you can just dab on your wrist, on your chest. It just is so relaxing, much like lavender. Doesn't smell anything like lavender, but it has this just relieving. It's just, the smell is so good that you can't help but like just relax from it. Lemon for your water. If you're not a big water drinker, or even if you are a water drinker, I love adding lemon to my water, or lime or grapefruit. So I like these because they don't have the acid that an actual lemon or lime or grapefruit would have if you put it into your water. So this is less harsh, especially because my daughter drinks this stuff too. So we don't do a lot of fruit juice and stuff like that, but we'll drink lemon water or lime water. But that comes in handy. I didn't end up using it mostly because obviously they didn't give me water when I was in labor, and then once I was post-delivery, I just wanted a bunch of water, so I didn't really need it. But you might want it after delivery, and especially if you have to make yourself drink it. The other one is Clary Sage. I ended up not using this mostly because I'm a VBAC patient and I didn't want this to interrupt having a successful VBAC. But Clary Sage is a really good one, especially if you have a midwife. You can talk to her and see if she's okay with you using this. If you ever do stall out in labor, if your contractions stall out, then Clary Sage, just 1 drop on your abdomen, can help those contractions start up again naturally without like introducing a new medication and going the less natural route. So that's why I ended up not using it. I was just a little nervous being a VBAC patient, but I did bring it. I did stall out, but that was mostly just because her heart rate would decel and we had to turn it off and stuff like that. The other thing is just bring some lip balm. I don't think, like, everybody on YouTube was like, you have to have it, you'll die without it, the hospital's so dry, you need it, you need it. I don't really think that it's like life altering, but it's definitely something that's good to have. We'll see if she gets through this last thing. So the last thing that I have is Sitz sprays. I bought a Sitz spray and have heard great things about this one. This is the Mother Love Sitz bath spray. I got it on Amazon. And this is just for perennial care. I think even if you don't tear, but definitely if you tear, to have a spray with you, because they don't offer a spray. They will give you the Tux pads, and then they'll give you like the padsicles and stuff like that, but they're not going to give you any type of spray. So I liked having the spray on top of everything else. because it can sit on your skin after you're done in the bathroom, and it will help actually heal your incision and your cut. But I made my own too, from my own oils, because I just feel like it would work better. It doesn't even tell me on here what, oh no, it does tell me which oils, but it's not the same oils. This has grapefruit, lavender, yuva, ursi leaf, yarrow herb, witch hazel, distilled water. So this one has alcohol-free witch hazel, lavender, tea tree, frankincense, and helichrysum. So lavender and tea tree are cheaper, on the cheaper side of oils, and then helichrysum and frankincense are on the more expensive side. So that's the downside of making your own oil, because this little bottle is not cheap to make, because you need to buy like the whole oil to make your own, and you're not going to use this whole bottle to make one of these little things. But I went ahead and bought the one oil I needed, which is helichrysum. I had all the other ones, and it is not a cheap oil, but I love this. I didn't use it the first day because I was kind of nervous the first day with the cut being so fresh. I used like this more distilled water one, but then when I woke up on day 2, I started using this, and I'm so glad I did. It's got like a cooling effect to it, and I just know that it's actually working. So tea tree is a good like antiseptic, so it's going to keep everything like cleaner, and then the other ones are, you know, to heal the skin. They're very good for your skin. A lot of people will use lavender in their hair and on their skin, and there's a lot of like shampoos and conditioners and skincare that have lavender in them, and so this is just a spray for down there for that. So I used 2 padsicles in the hospital, and that's because they kept reminding me to do it. It did feel good, but it wasn't like it's healing me. It's just kind of like I'm uncomfortable, let's kind of fix it for the moment kind of thing. Whereas I'm more of a let's fix it in the long term kind of person. So it was nice to have that, but I'm kind of more, I feel like I can tolerate a lot of pain, I guess. So I'm not more like, let's use these padsicles that are going to make me feel good for 10 minutes. They were nice. It's not that they weren't nice, but I know that this mentally is helping, you know, not mentally, educational wise, I know this is actually healing my skin. So it was worth it. I got the helichrysum in the mail the day before I was induced. And so on Saturday, I had this whole bottle already made, and I had to add the helichrysum on Saturday. So glad I did, because I packed it away and everything, and then they induced me on Sunday. And I didn't know I was going to be induced. So really, really glad that I got that in time, because I was really weighing on, I just put the lavender, frankincense, and tea tree in there, and just figured I would live without the helichrysum. But the helichrysum is the huge oil that helps really, really help you heal. So I went for it. You know, so anyways, that's it. Again, I'm not any kind of distributor or anything, so you can ask questions. I definitely have someone who is a friend that will actually help you instead of just sell you. So if you need someone who's going to give you like good advice and not be all salesy, I absolutely have someone who can help you. If not, then just be careful with what oils you buy and where you buy it from, and make sure that they're 100% pure therapeutic grade oils. I will tell you, nothing from the store that I know of is 100% like that. So just be careful where you get them from. You can ask me, I'll give you some recommendations, and you can go from there, but that's up to you. I think that these were just life-saving. I really felt I needed them for comfort, and it made the trauma down there just better and then the peppermint for delivery. So you can pick up these books if you want to know more. Gentle Baby, and then the Betsy Blossom baby book. She has a Facebook page as well, so you can look that up and be part of her page. Definitely get her book though, because it has everything you're going to need to get you prepared for delivery. So my baby is waking up, so perfect timing. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and that was helpful for you. Let me know if you end up using oils or any other things that I mentioned, which wasn't that much, in a previous delivery, or you're thinking about using it in the next. So, all right. Bye, guys.